Well, we've just seen biological men punching down on women at the Paris Olympic boxing and elbowing them out of the Olympic soccer. Two of Zambia's goal scorers in the Matildas match were blokes. Closer to home, biological men, thanks to the LGBTIQA plus political movement, are also seeking to invade women's spaces here in Australia. It is why the Family First Party, of which I have the privilege of serving as National Director, has pledged to repeal the Queensland Government's gender self-ID laws to ensure the safety and privacy of women and children in public facilities. Now, a recent online threat by a biological male to access women's change rooms at the Milne Bay Aquatic and Fitness Centre in my old hometown of Toowoomba underscores the urgency of this commitment. Now, the Queensland campaign director for the Family First Party is Alex Todd. She lives in Toowoomba and she's a friend. She was horrified to learn from a distressed friend of hers that an adult male dressed in a crop top with visible cleavage had been approved to use the women's changing facilities at the Milne Bay Aquatic Centre. Joining me now from Toowoomba is Alex Todd. Alex, thanks for joining us. What was your reaction when you were alerted to this?
Thanks for having me, Lyle. It was interesting because the friend sent me a message privately and she was asking for help. She'd seen the message that this man had been approved for use for change room use or access to an open plan ladies change room, and she has daughters and was worried. She said, what do I do about this? I don't want my daughters in the same changing facility as this man.
Yeah, well, this man posted on the Toowoomba Queer Space Facebook group saying that he had been given approval, as you just said, from the management of the Milne Bay Aquatic Centre to use the girls' and women's change room. He says it is a good day for transgender people. But Alex, this is not a good day for girls and women, is it?
No, it's absolutely not. And particularly for those who aren't aware. One of the things that really concerns me is that there's patrons of the centre who will have no idea that they could be walking in to share a space that should be for women and children with a biological male.
Yeah.
They may well be using the space and he enters the space. So for people who don't realise that they're being put in that position, it's not a good day at all.
No, it's very unfair. And, of course, this is not a hypothetical. This was highlighted recently by Riley Gaines, the US swimmer, who helped blow the whistle on the male swimmer, Leah Thomas. Remember that tall, skinny bloke who was contesting US women's college swim meets? And she told how, women were subject to having to observe his naked body as he was with them in their change rooms, complete with appendage. Sorry for the detail here, but this is just the reality. This is, of course, not right. Now you've taken this up with the Aquatic Centre management in Toowoomba and with the Toowoomba City Council, which owns the facility. What's been their reaction?
Yeah, so my first call was to the centre just to confirm that they would actually allow someone who was a biological male, no matter what he was pretending, to use those facilities. And it was confirmed by the staff in the centre that they believed the law insisted that they allow people to use the bathroom of their choosing. So then I followed up with a call to a councillor who I know, and then an email to all of our local councillors here in Toowoomba and the Mayor. It took them more than a week to officially respond. And unfortunately, the response from them has not been great. The Mayor has responded on behalf of the council, and he's explained that the law does state that self-identification means that anyone can choose which gender they'd like to be and which bathroom they'd like to use. In the response, they pointed out that inappropriate behaviour by any patron could be a reason for them being asked to leave. We need to clarify what he means by inappropriate behaviour, because I worry that a surprised or frightened woman in the change room might behave inappropriately in alerting the centre to the fact that there's a man in the change rooms, and will she become the victim but the perpetrator in the situation rather than being the victim in that situation. The Mayor has said in his response that they're going to change the signage on one of the private change rooms to include all genders. So that's that's a step in the right direction, I guess, in that anyone who's using that space will realise it could be for anyone, but it's a private space.
Yeah,
they're not changing the signage on the women's change rooms, as far as I know.
No, that's right, and that's interesting that the Toowoomba City Council has responded that way. But as they've also said, these gender self-ID laws, which actually just came into effect in Queensland just in the last 2 weeks, the council has no authority to bar this man from the women's and the girls' change rooms, despite providing an all-gender facility. That's only optional for the biological male. This is the craziness of these laws. It really does tie the hands of a local community like Toowoomba, and puts our girls at risk.
The communication that I sent to council, I've also copied through to our local members at the state level. So there's 3 men whose constituents would all access this facility. It's right in the middle of Toowoomba, so there's three electorates that it would service. And at this point, I have had no response from any of those representatives. Actually, no, I've had a quick text from one of them directing me to another of them. So they're passing the buck at the moment, and it does look like the state government legislation is where the problem stems.
Yeah, look, it'd be great if there was a local council who had the courage to stand up to them, but the law is certainly not on the council's side. It is, of course, Alex, and you and I have been quite upfront about this, so obviously grateful for the platform that ADH TV gives us, but we are members of the Family First Party. You're helping run our campaign up there, but it's issues like this and the lack of safety for girls and women, for the indoctrination of children. That's why we're running candidates throughout the state of Queensland. It's why these gender self-ID laws must be repealed. Alex, Todd, thank you for giving your time. Thank you for what you're doing politically to fight this as a mum and as a grandma.
Thank you so much. It's a team effort, and we do really just need to encourage people to speak the truth.
Yeah, absolutely. And speak the truth and vote the truth, and that's the opportunity which you're giving people through running the campaign up there. Yeah, good on you, Alex. Thanks so much for your time today.